everybody. How are you guys doing on tonight? So glad to be here and grateful as always. Sacred healing, mind, body, and soul. This is a new month. It's June, so June for a month of transformation, for growth. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to be stagnant. I don't like to be where I'm not growing in any shape or form. So on tonight, I wanted to come and talk about, you know what, during these times or any time in your life, you may be feeling a little bit stressed, not feeling your normal self. Well, you know what? There is a solution to that. And I just wanted to share with you guys on tonight because stress can really attack the body. And I'm always saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again, that if the mind is stressed, the body is stressed. And I'm truly thankful for God's healing powers to, ease our minds. And I just wanted to share with you guys that, you know what, if you are stressed and you're really going through something, don't allow it to affect your life. Because, yeah, well, you're saying, Regina, you're saying, yeah, but that's easier said than done. Well, let me tell you what, I've been there. I know what stress can do. I know how it can attack your body because that was me. I was one of those people that used to worry about every little thing in my life. Um, just worried. It's like, and it would be unnecessarily worrying for what? It didn't benefit anything. So I did it for many years. I would just worry about this, worry about that. Well, let me tell you what, it started affecting my body. It started breaking it down. And that's what stress does. Stress is a silent killer. Stress can affect you in so many different ways. If you, for one, if you're shedding your hair, you're losing your hair, you have no appetite, you have chronic headaches, you may be feeling a little depressed. You also may be feeling aches and pains in your body. You may be feeling where you're having adult acne. There's so many different factors where your moods will be up and down because of stress. And stress is not a good place to be. I don't recommend it. There's things that could alleviate the stress in our life. There's certain factors that can alleviate stress in our life. I was looking for my pen because I was going to write something down. But one, I had to take control of my life. I had to figure out where these stress factors were coming from. And there were numerous stress factors that I had. And it was by choice. It was by choice that I chose to allow certain situations in my life, certain things to take over. And so I was stressed about it, and my body started to react to the stress. And I didn't really take it too serious until it was becoming to where I couldn't function because of the pain that my body was under. I had so much inflammation in my body because of stress. And I never at times never wanted to admit to the stress because I felt that that showed weakness. And in the midst of my weakness is because Regina was operating on her own strength and not allowing God to come in and be the source and resource of everything in my life. It's just not about monetary things. It's God is our source and resource for our whole life, mind, body, and soul. And during this time, this is really how sacred healing started to come about, because I started to do some self-reflection. I started to look within, and I needed to find a safe place. And the safe place was, Regina, you literally got to get it together. Because you know what, when you allow other things to consume you, when you allow life to tear you down, when you allow certain situations in your life to take dominance other than God, you will start to see the effects. Your body will start showing symptoms. What do you mean by the symptoms? Well, I can give you a handful of symptoms. I gave you a few just a few minutes ago, but literally, these symptoms can literally affect you in a negative way. And I remember at one time that during this stage of my stress, that I brought upon myself, because you know what, I allowed it to manipulate my emotions. Anytime you allow your emotions to be manipulated and not take control of what you read, what you look at, what you hear, you know, I had to think, what are you ingesting yourself with, Regina? What are the time throughout the day? What do you ingest? And you know what? And I began to write down, and I said, okay, well, I can eliminate this out of my life. I can eliminate this out of my life. And one of the things I needed to eliminate was excuses. Excuses of why I couldn't do this. Excuses of the reasons why I wasn't going to try to better my quality of life, which is my health. Health is the most important thing. Without it, we have nothing, you know, and that's why I'm an advocate for health, because health is truly our wealth. And it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to live a flourishing life, to where you can enjoy the things that you like. Because, you know, we can work all day. We can work hard, and, you know, and we think we're getting ahead. And then, but what are we sacrificing? Are we sacrificing our health in order to gain all these things? Well, I'm not, because I know what it's like to sacrifice those things. I know what it's like, because my body came under subjection of different things that were being attacked. One, during this time, I started to have severe chronic pain that I dealt with, because I do have a high tolerance for pain. And so once the pain got to the point to where it's like, oh no, Regina, you can't be doing this. And the pain was literally in the back of my head. It started going into the back of my occipital bone. And let me tell you what, it felt like somebody was literally jabbing a needle into the back of my head. And I would be working, and all of a sudden, if something would just like make me go forward, make me go forward. How you doing, Chantel? Good evening, sweetheart. And I said, my goodness, you know, what in the world is going on? Because let me tell you what, when you feel like you have a knife going into the back of your head, that's a wake-up call. I had other symptoms that I should have been dealing with, but because I was being hard-headed and neglecting myself, I overlooked it. So in the midst of that, my body started tearing down. Okay, I started having very bad pain. I remember there was a time that I couldn't even run, y'all. I couldn't even run. I was an avid runner growing up. Quick. I ran track, loved it. And I let myself go to the point to where me even thinking about running, my knees would be on fire. It felt like, literally, it felt like bone rubbing on bone. And I remember just being so out of breath and couldn't grasp the air. I'd be feeling sick and fatigued. And I said, oh my goodness, I can't keep going through this. This is abnormal. So what happened was is I allowed my emotions to be manipulated, and I allowed the pain to take over, and I would just not keep it up. So have you guys ever started exercising and then stop exercising and then stop exercising? You get all hyped for a minute. I did that for numerous of years. Now I knew better, because I was always really athletic. So I knew better. It's just I chose to give in to my flesh. I chose to give in to, you know what? My body aches. It's hurting. I don't want to go through this. And I found every excuse. How you doing, Misty? Yes, the mind is powerful. I found every excuse. In the midst of that, I was sick. I was sick of myself. Every time I looked in the mirror, I did not like what I seen. But I wasn't doing anything to change it. I would look, and then I would be upset, like, you know, I don't even like the way I feel. I don't even like the way I look. I don't, you know, there was so many different things going on. And so it was a buildup. It started out lightly, and then it became a buildup. Okay. So now my legs, knees feel like they're about 100 years old. Then my feet, y'all, I don't know if you ever had to where your feet have spasms and my toes were literally curling up. When I say curling, and sometimes the pinky toe would go so far out that it felt like it was going to break on its own. All of a sudden, it just go into a spasm. And then I would be at work standing, and I would I would be hopping either on whatever foot, because both feet were doing it. Whatever foot I'd be trying to hop, trying to get that, ache and pain and for the muscles to relax. Sometimes I would just have to get like literally, I'd be like breathing short breaths, trying to get my shoe off right quick so I can just literally put my foot on it to give some pressure. Okay, which is crazy because I was allowing myself to be subjected to this because I didn't want to do anything that was going to alleviate the inflammation in my body because of the stress. Okay, I allowed stress to affect me on top of the other things that I wasn't doing so I could be healthy. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Then my hands, okay, my hands are my money making. Okay, I use my hands. On my hand, I need my hands, I need my feet. I need to be standing because the job that I do outside of my holistic business is I'm standing and cutting hair. I'm a barber. My hands will get to curling up, y'all. Like literally, like deformed. I could be in the midst of cutting or whatever, and they would just lock up. They would freeze. And I was working even past through that. Then it got to where I was having a frozen shoulder. Now, mind you, during all this time, I'm not even working out. So little God is giving me the symptoms and signs, but I'm refusing to accept what I'm going through. By the time I got off work, by the time I got in the car, my arm, it would be hard for me to even stir the wheel. It would be hard for me to even take the seatbelt over. Don't try to reach back and get something, because that's not going to happen. And I was making every excuse. But I said, "Oh, I don't got time to be going to no doctor. I'm not going to be doing all that. I'll push past it because I always did. Like I always did. And then before you know it, I wasn't taking care of myself because even my nutrition, I would just eat whatever. Didn't matter. And everything that I was putting in my body was building inflammation on top of the stress. Okay, so now you have the stress. Now you have the poor eating. Now you have lack of activity. All of those things were going on in my life. Every last one of them. Until I'd be at work and all of a sudden something just, and literally, boom, my head. I mean, I could be standing and I'd be like, ooh, good God, what in the world is hit me in the back of my head? And it literally, I said, oh my goodness, we can't just be having those nerve, where it felt like the nerves were just being like tortured. And that's when I was like, okay, this is really serious. Regina, you got to get it together. You can allow the stress that you hold in. See, a lot of times people hold in stress and they don't ever let it out. They don't speak about it. They hold it in. They feel that they can't release. And sometimes some people just want to hold on to it because that's all they know. But when I made a decision in my life that, you know what, I was going to do better and that I was going to love myself enough to take care of myself, I've never looked back. Literally, never looked back. My transformation, when I became serious about it, it's been a total of 6.5 years. Okay, 6.5 years I've been working on what I was destroying. It don't happen overnight, you guys. But one of the things that I had to let go of first was the stress. The stress of you control nothing. You can't prevent nothing if it's going to happen. You're not a savior for everybody. You can't show up for everybody. Life is going to happen. Obstacles are going to come. But it's how you deal with it. Now, how I dealt with this is I would hold it in and I would literally keep replaying like, okay, well, this could happen and that could happen. And I was, trying to navigate this situation and navigate that situation. And then, there was just so many different factors, life-changing factors in my life that was coming out at the same time, that I would just hold it in, and it just started attacking my body. I had different things, as far as female situations that were going on at that time because of stress. Oh, as well as that, my hair, oh my goodness, y'all. I have thick, long hair. Well, let me tell you what, I was literally having buckets, like trash can, like the bathroom trash can, the little trash cans. But when I would get done to pulling, washing my hair, or even not even from there, well, mainly from the washing hair, but I would have, you see this, handfuls, and I would be putting in the trash. And I was like, oh my God, Regina, your hair is falling out. Literally. You got to stop. Whatever it is that you're doing is not working. So I said, okay, I'm gonna make a change. And 6 years ago, I decided to make a change. How you doing, Mom? Decided to make a change in my life, and I took it serious. Okay, I began with my nutrition. I needed to figure out what was it that was affecting my body. I had to alleviate a lot of things that were, number one, I had to alleviate a lot of dairy products, okay, because it was building a lot of inflammation in my body. Number two, I had to get rid of processed foods, okay? They weren't good for me. Sugary foods, they weren't good, giving inflammation, had my moods up and down, okay? Too much of something is not always great for you. So I had to learn a different way of eating. And and this is no lie, once I learned what to eat, what not to eat for my body, it's been a game changer. If you guys don't know, poor health, poor nutrition will literally suck the life out of you. I started losing my melanin. Did you hear what I said? I started losing my melanin in my skin. I've always been, I lightened up a lot, and I always used it. Oh, I lost a lot of my skin color because of, of having my kids, and I put it on that, because I had them so close together. My boys are 11 months apart, so I would say that they, the nutrients out of my body, they took from me. But once I started changing my life from exercising to eating right, to being mindful of my stress levels, y'all, my skin color is coming back. I don't have to be out in the sun. I would always be out in the sun because I wanted that skin color that I had when I was a child. I wanted that nice brown, bronze color that I had as a child. And I knew it was because that was my natural skin tone. But because I wasn't eating healthy, it was making my skin look dull. I wasn't glowing. The skin pigment that I had was gone. Now it's starting to come back, and I'm thankful for it. But because I allowed stress to take over my life, instead of walking into the blessings that God wanted for me, I chose to look away. So that's why I'm so an advocate about health. Why it's so important, because I know I know what it can do for your body. Now I'm running. I'm getting ready to run another 5K. Before, you couldn't get me out there because my knees was hurting. I'm working out. I'm doing strength training 3 times a week. I'm doing a boot camp. Not only do I go to the gym twice a week, I also do extensive workout at my home gym. Before, I wasn't able to do any of that. Not before I had kids. Once I had kids, everything just went to my children. And that's another thing. A lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner, and, we put so much into our families and not realizing that, you got to pour into yourself. You got to make yourself happy. It's not nobody's responsibility to make you happy in your life. Nobody's but you. And once I realized that, you know what, it's up to Regina to invest into herself, invest into the most important thing, because we only get one life. We only get one temple. Okay? It's up to you of what you choose you want to do with it. Would you want to be sick in your body, or do you want to have health in your body? Because after a while, our bodies will start showing us the signs and symptoms. And there's nobody to blame but ourselves, because we've made the choice to neglect the most important thing, which is us. For what? What is the excuses? Because you know what? What's more expensive? Being sick or being healthy? People say, well, you know what? It's expensive to eat healthy. Well, doggone it, it is expensive. It's more expensive to be sick. A lot more expensive to be sick. And I choose not to. I've seen too many people close to me who have illnesses. And all because of a choice. What is your choice? Do you choose to live this way and be in pain in your body, unhealthy, mentally? Mind you, mind, body, and soul. What do you choose? How's your mind? Because you know what we fuel our body with, you can't tell me if you're feeling you can't tell me if you're feeling your body, fueling your body with garbage and you're able to think clearly. That's a lie. Because once you come from eating unhealthy to eating healthy, the clarity that you have is ridiculous. The mindset that you have for your life is a blessing. So how I was thinking then, I know I wasn't thinking right, because what I thought I was thinking was right, and I was feeling my body with this. There's no way, because my body was showing me the signs and symptoms. Virginia, you're not doing it right. You're doing it your way. You're not doing it God's way. Do you want to be put on a bunch of prescription pills for the rest of your life because you don't want to make a lifestyle change? Are you willing to go out like that? You can't tell me that you're walking in strength and you're popping pills just to mask what's going on, because you're not curing it. I know, because I had to make the change. Our food is our medicine. Until we realize that, you will continue to be defeated in your body. You will be continue to have situations going on in your body. Do you want to have high blood pressure? Keep eating the way you're doing. Stop exercising. Keep holding on to that stress. You want to have a stroke? Keep eating the way that you are. Keep holding on to that stress. Keep having a lack of physical, if that's what you want, because those are excuses. We must love ourselves enough to say, you know what, I want better for myself. There's always a root cause. And when you go back to figure out what is the root cause, mine was a poor mind. I had a poor mindset. There's nothing else that I could say. I had a poor mindset until God delivered me. Yeah, it took God to deliver me. That's another thing. Where are you in your spiritual walk? I had to clean that too. I had to clean my mind, my body, and my soul. So where is my spiritual walk? Was I talking with God on a regular basis? Was I edifying my mind with his word? Was I equipping myself the way God said that I should? Because I'm a spiritual woman. I believe in God. No other way. But did my actions line up to what God said? Well, no. No, it didn't. And that's why I was reaping what I sowed. What were you sowing? Well, I wasn't sowing anything positivity because I wasn't having the reaction that my body needed. So I'm on here on tonight to encourage you guys, quit playing with your life. Because that's what you're doing. You're playing with your life. Every time that you choose to neglect what's good for you, every time that you choose to put something negative in your mind, in your body, and in your soul, do you really think something positive is going to come out of it? No, it's not. Whatever a man thinketh, so he is. So if you think that you're defeated, you're defeated. If you think you're sick, you're sick. If you think that you're not going to be healed, you're not going to be healed. If you think that there are excuses, there will always be an excuse in your life. I choose to think positive. I choose to think prosperous, flourishing in all areas of my life. And you know what? Once I made the change, let me tell you guys something. I couldn't do it without God, because this is not Regina. Regina can't do it on her own strength. The things that I'm doing as of today is only because I made a choice to love myself enough to get out of that funk and come into the light where God's called me to be. And that is to be healthy. Mind, body, and soul. You guys, you can't have just one of them. You have to have all of it. So don't let nobody lie to you. Okay? If they're not walking the walk, if they're not talking the talk, then it's a lie. Can I say it again? If they're not walking the walk, talking the talk, it's a lie. How can Regina of Sacred Healing Mind, Body, and Soul, who professes holistic health, but I don't look like nothing holistic? My body's under subjection, but I'm speaking, I'm a holistic practitioner, but my body's under subjection of illness, of pain. I'm saying that I'm here to elevate the mindset, but I'm doing everything that does not show what a strong, flourishing mindset should be. Why? Because I have sicknesses in my body, but I'm professing that I live a healthy life. I'm professing all this, but my life doesn't line up. That's a lie. Who are you fooling? The only person you're fooling is yourself. So if you want life or you want death, it's up to you. It's your choice. Hold on to that stress and see what happens. Hold on to anything that is not prosperous for your life and see what happens. Quit lying. Continue to keep lying to yourself and see what happens. Because the truth shall set you free. I walk in truth. I speak truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to make you feel good, because make you feel good has gotten where you are today. That's where it had me at one time. I went to the feel good doctor. The feel good doctor ain't gonna do nothing for you, but I can tell you who can, and that's the Most High God. Most High God will get you in check, get you right, put you back together again. But it's your choice. Quit taking all these shortcuts. There's no shortcut. Put in the work. It takes hard work and discipline. You know what it takes to be disciplined? You got to be consistent at everything that you do. You can't half step. It's going to show up in your life. The fruits of the Spirit will show up all day, every day. There's no faking. Either you're in it or you're not. Either you got it or you don't. Which one are you? So I'm here to encourage you guys on tonight. Step out of your comfort zone. Love yourself enough. And do what's right. Trust and believe. Your life will never be the same once you allow yourself to sit down, get out of the way, get rid of the excuses, and put in the work of what needs to be done, because there's been so much damage for so many years. How do you think, and how much time do you think it's going to take to get you of what you damaged? It's taken me 6 long years to get me where I'm at today, physically, mentally, and spiritually, because I've been putting in the work for 6 years, y'all. 6 years I've been learning of what works for Regina, of what I'm supposed to do to be healthy, to be an example, to show people it can be done at any age. Because at my age, the things that I'm doing things that 20 years old are doing, and loving it with full of energy, full of happiness. I'm not turning back. I am not turning back for nobody, because peace is in the midst of my life. Strength is in the midst of my life. Health is in the midst of my life. Healing is in the midst of my life. Flourishing is in the midst of my life. Prosperous is in the midst of my life. Not drama, not garbage, not craziness going here and there. What I mean is a double-minded man that doesn't know his ways. No, none of that is going on over here. Okay, I don't have time for that, and neither should you. Focus on yourself. Invest in yourself. You're the most important thing, and you're slacking. You're not kidding nobody. God sees all. So if you think you're kidding somebody, that's a lie. The truth shall set you free. Let this day be the last day of an excuse for your life. Let this day be the last day that you have poor health. Let this day be the last day that you allow your mind to be subjected unto the things that are not for you. Let this day be the best day. The month of June. Transform and grow. But it's time for me to go. I hate to get off of here, but I thank you. And I pray and hope that everything that I spoke will be encouraging, that you apply it to your life. And I love y'all, and I appreciate everybody who has joined on tonight. But I must go. I have more work that needs to be done. Y'all have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.